All right. Hi, everyone. This is going to be One Piece chapter 1136 live reaction. I'm super excited to get into this. It's been way too long since we got our last chapter. And now that the chapters are going to be rolling out more consistently, of course, after the big break, I plan on doing live reactions and reviews for every chapter at the bare minimum for the future of this channel. And I plan on doing a lot more videos in the future as well. So, without further ado, let's get into this. Okay, so we have chapter 1136, The Country That Awaits the Sun. And we have the Yamato cover story for the billionth week in a row. And I'm going to guess nothing's happening. A mysterious hidden base in Udon. Okay. We got like the who's who, like mount above the building. And Yamato's got um, Hold'em there. We got Camacho and Speed, and it looks like Tama's there on her back. Yeah, really, truly exciting stuff. Okay, let's get into the chapter. Even the meat is huge. It's so tasty. This moose reminds me of dinosaur meat. They're quite tricky to catch, as ferocious as they are delicious. No task is too great if it's for one savior. I appreciate it. Haruden Stanson. Glad you like it. I wonder with Big Man Ja Rule here if the sword is just gonna be like a gag or if it's gonna actually have something like with lore. Because I mean, I could see Oda doing either. It's rare for humans to make it all the way to the Sun Realm. Most confuse the underworld for Elbaf proper and flee before they find their way up here. Most confuse the underworld. So is he trying to say that like a lot of humans come here, they just don't make it to the Sun Realm? That's interesting. Listen up. The mighty Ors was a warrior legendary even to you giants. He'd tower over any of you 3 times over, and guess who finally finished him? That's right. It was me. Way to go, Captain Usopp. He's already scheming. I'm glad he's finally like even if this just starts off as like the clout that's always been Usopp, I hope and expect it to kind of transform into something a little more tangible. And I mean, this is supposed to be Usopp's arc, so wow, your skin really is blue. I don't know if you should talk to Jinbei that way, but all right. You should see Fishman Island. There's as many skin tones as there are fish in the sea. I've always wanted to see a mermaid. No shame in that. They're a sight to behold. The Mermaid Cove is more enticing than heaven itself. Whoa. That said, is this Sanji talking? Yeah. My heart soars just as much when I see you giant ladies. Oh, Sanji-kun, you're so silly, it's cute. Beauties everywhere I look. I'm getting buried in babes. Oh, Sanji. You poor, poor, sweet summer child. And what are you? Who, me? I can answer with my own blues. My what the heck am I ditty. I guess it's a big wide world out there. Let's toast to it. I'm surprised so many giants have never gone out to sea. Yeah. I kind of assumed they were all pirates. Her Namitaso, I woulda apologized to you and this other straw hat about before. God, he's so ugly. He ain't gonna be forgiven that easily, but beating a proper apology out of him was the least we could do. Gerd Tasto's sadistic side really makes my heart flutter. Don't sweat it, it's not like anyone died. And Zoro's like, what? Although that's only because Usopp stopped me. Again, we're getting clout here because they're going to see later on that Zoro's like the real deal and they're going to be like, Usopp stopped him? If he didn't, it would have been your head. Yeah, that's Zoro. Roto, don't tell me you picked a fight without checking their current bounties. You never stood a chance. Don't hold back next time. Gerd Tasso. She's so harsh I can't get enough. Come on, everyone born here on Elbaf shares the same dream to become the next sun god and rule the world. Sun god? Does Zoro, like, is he actually interested in this stuff now? Are you kidding me? The sun god isn't a ruler. That's right, he's the god of liberation. More like destruction. You're wrong. Everyone knows he was the god of laughter. It's getting rowdy, said Luffy. What's this about a god? The sacred Harley texts have been passed down for generations in Elbaf. The legends are written in an archaic language, so there have been countless interpretations. Archaic language, you say? Poneglyph language, you say? No one can say for sure which translation is accurate, and this is the result. According to the Harley texts, the world has already been destroyed twice before, and the name of sun god Nika is invoked after each instance. Nika. Who can say if he was the world's savior or the great destroyer who brought it crashing down? All we know for sure is that he heralds great change. That is why the rulers of the day always tend to fear Nika's return. Nika. I like this drawing here with the sword and the shield. I feel like, yeah, getting a new drawing, and it could just be like, boom, here's like what it is, or this could be like a real drawing, like if that makes sense, from some text or from the Harley text, more than likely. That's the guy Bonnie mentioned. Yes, the sun god has become a symbol, someone the hopeless and desperate turn to for salvation. They say Nika is adorned by white clouds with white hair and white clothes to boot, and he is said to have a contagious, booming laugh. No wonder everyone's been saying I look similar. Excuse me. But I'm sure he's got nothing to do with me. Don't be so dismissive, Straw Hat. You'd understand if you were born on Elbaf. We all look up to Nika. Do not defend Roto, or not to defend Roto, but he wasn't lying about us all sharing the same dream. Hmm. Loki was the same. I believe his motive for Harold's murder was his attempt to follow in Nika's footsteps. Nothing can justify what he did, Elder. Loki. So he's a good guy? No way in hell. Luffy is so dense. That's why we love him, though. He's the accursed prince. There was a prophecy before Loki was born that foretold that King Harold would be slain by his own son. You guys kind of jumped on it a little late then. Then, shortly after his birth, the royal steed, the Horse of Fortune, died. That was the same year that Linlin murdered the legendary hero Jorul, and the tragedies kept coming. A year later, the queen herself passed on. The princeling would go on to use his natural strength to make the realm of the dead his own personal playground. He killed many of those ferocious beasts and tamed the rest. He even released a few into the villages, and that was all by the age of 10. So we're kind of getting like Odin 2.0 here. I think that's kind of what we expected, though. Like, I think that, we didn't assume Loki just kind of started this out of nowhere or like somehow got this absurd strength or power. Like, it was something he was born with. I don't think that's a surprise to anybody, but it is cool to know. He was an arsonist. Loki's mischief endangered countless lives. He had the authority of a prince and a malicious personality. He caused hell whenever the king wasn't looking. Then finally, in that very castle, Loki killed King Harold, the greatest monarch Elbaf ever knew. I'm excited to see what this guy looks like. Hmm. A splendid wise man who tried to connect with the outside world to get people to see beyond Elbaf's feared reputation as a land of warriors. That would kind of explain why the children have been behaving the way that they do, or some of them at least. Lord Ja Rule was stabbed trying to stop King Loki. Okay, so that kind of answers my question from earlier. My helmet saved me in the end. It didn't save anything. Loki's reign of terror finally came to an end 6 years ago. He was running amok. He was running amok at sea when Red Hair captured him. Shanks? Shanks really came here? Yeah, in fact, he was just here. I'm not sure where he went off to, though. And we got Zorro with the ellipses here. I feel like he's being contemplative this chapter, which is really nice to see from Zorro. I mean, it's not something I expect to stick, really, but I do like it. I do like it when the Straw Hats and the other characters kind of grow into this very thoughtful phase in the chapters. Village outskirts. I thought you were acting weirdly on edge earlier. That explains it. You realize he's a reviled Kingslayer, right? Everything he told you was obviously just a lie. Oh, okay. It's Shanks and Luffy, or Zoro and Luffy. He said he knew where Shanks was. Do you have any idea how badly I want to see him again? Yes, I've heard about it 1,000 times. Sounds to me like he was using that to trick you. How would you know? You never met Loki yourself. Hmm. I have some thoughts on all this, but let's continue. I haven't. I'm just guessing based on his reputation. I'll tell you everything I know. That includes Red Hair's current whereabouts. If that was really a lie, I'm going to send him flying. Who is this? If you're sneaking off to do what I think you are, did you seriously expect to find your way there without me? Is this Nami? She looks, she's drawn differently. Listen up, Luffy, we'll get the key. But if he pulls anything funny, we'll have to take care of him. Got it, thanks. How do they know, like, where, like, there's no mention of a key to Zoro? Like, where are they going to start? And why is, like, how is Zoro going to find it? He's going to go get the key and then get lost, and then someone else is going to find the key. But why is this guy here? He's my new slave. I'm truly blessed. Nami is a vile woman. And that's also why we love her. And Roto is just, yeah. Sanji's going to be upset about this. Don't forget, I'm her number one slave and Sanji's number two. Okay, Zeus. Gosh. Strong girls really get my blood pumping. He's been struck by lightning, literally. Nami Tasso, isn't it neat that we're both navigators? Don't ever try to get close to me again. Yes, ma'am. It feels wrong for the guests of honor to bail so early. Don't worry, I brought some meat. Have you tried this moose? They're all in a drunken stupor now. They probably can't remember what they're celebrating. I don't like how this dude's talking right now. Like, maybe, like, this is like, the thing that happened at the beginning of the arc in his little like playhouse is going to be treated as a gag, but this right here, they're all in a drunken stupor now. Dot dot dot. I don't know. I don't like this dude. Say if all the treasure in the castle suddenly disappeared, would that be a problem, Roto? My vision is awful, so I'm sure I wouldn't even notice. You had this in mind since the beginning, didn't you, Nami? Huh? Your eyes. Doga ha ha. So that's what it is. Realm of the Dead. Okay. If I understood you correctly, then I'm afraid I'll have to step back and refuse your offer. I'm sure it's an honor to be invited to join your noble knights, but that would make you celestial dragons, right? Did you really expect anyone on the planet to willingly become scum like that? Okay, so I remember seeing something with Sai and Brago that they were kind of discussing, and I'm sure other people have said it too in the community, that uh, Shanks's clone or Stabs or Skanks or whatever you want to call them and this bandage chick were part of the God Knights, which it looks like it's kind of. I mean, in this translation, it says invited to join your noble knights. It's all but confirmed that they are God Knights. I mean, it makes sense with Garling and Stabs' presumed ties to him. I'm assuming that he's his son or a clone of his real son, and his real son is Shanks. Do we have any intel? All the informants we sent to Elbaf reported a giant crow heading for them before their transmissions got cut off. Their weakness is beyond belief. Yo, why does this chick kind of look like Koala? She got like different like pupils and irises. I'm done just standing by and listening. This is the definition of impertinence. I won't let it stand. Yeah, okay. God's Night Gunko or Gunko. Confirmed God's Knights. And it looks like her her bandage thing is like coming off the sleeve, but her other arm is kind of like covered by a longer sleeve. So I don't know if it's just her clothes that are doing this or if I guess that wouldn't make sense. Her whole body can probably do this. And it's got a point on the end, kind of like reminiscent of Emu and Sabo back in the throne room. Interesting. Don't be hasty, Gunko. We have a giant wolf here. It's got like flames around his neck, kind of like an awakened Zoan might, or it could just be part of like the creature, I guess. Doga, ha ha. Eat him up, wolf. She's unbothered. Hey, stay back if you want to keep breathing. She wraps it around him. Huh? Hey, wolf. And then she just like, oh man, that was easy. Wolf, if we were to spare him, would you change your mind then? And we still got Skanks's left side covered up. So that's how you operate, huh? Well, if that was your offer, I'd accept my friend's fate and wish him peace in death. It's okay to grieve and rage, but a warrior never kicks and screams in the face of death. Dang, that was hard. I'll swallow all my fury and use it to fuel me when I reduce this world to rubble. A proud proclamation. Chapter 1136 end. This was a good chapter. I like this a lot. I mean, anytime that there's a break, honestly, any time that there's a chapter, it's a good chapter. Even if it's just like a setup chapter. I mean, we're all fiends. Obviously, that's why we read week to week. But yeah. Yeah, this was good. I have a lot of thoughts on some of the characters and their kind of motivations or how they've kind of not changed because, shonen characters don't really change per se, but yeah, there were some interesting choices done here. So yeah, I mean that was chapter 1136. I'm going to try to get the review out as soon as possible, do a little bit of analysis. Um and get that out to you guys as soon as possible. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. See ya.